My name is Ava, 31 years old, and I was staring at my laptop in my small loft, feeling like I could finally exhale. The screen showed my bank account, $0 owed on my student loans. After 13 years, I'd cleared $85,000, $65,000 for my degree plus a mountain of interest. I'd beaten the timeline by 4 years, thanks to a decent gig at a cybersecurity firm straight out of college. I shut the laptop, grabbed my coat, and hit the local shop for a bottle of whiskey. Back home, I poured a shot, sank into my thrift store armchair, and soaked in the moment. My place was modest, a one-bedroom with creaky floors and a tiny balcony, but it was mine, debt-free. Why was I alone? That's a messy tale tied to a family that always looked right through me. Growing up, I was the ghost in my own house. My parents, Karen and Steve, seemed to forget me the moment my younger brother, Ethan, arrived. He's 25 now, and the gap in how we were treated was glaring. I remember one summer when I was 16 and Ethan was 10. I'd scraped together cash from a part-time job at a bookstore to buy everyone gifts for the family barbecue. I got Ethan a model rocket kit, thinking he'd love it. Karen and Steve lost it over how sweet his thank you was. Then Ethan tossed me a dollar store pen with a lopsided grin. They acted like he'd carved it himself. "Ethan's so thoughtful," Karen cooed. That was my life, Ava the shadow, Ethan the spotlight. I buried myself in school, staying late for robotics club. I dreamed of MIT or Georgia Tech, somewhere to prove I was more than invisible. Senior year, I got into West Coast Polytechnic, not MIT, but damn good, with a scholarship covering 30% of tuition. I still needed $65,000 for 4 years. I thought Karen and Steve might chip in, always preaching about education. Over dinner, I spilled the news, heart-pounding. I got into West Coast Poly, but I need $65,000 for tuition. Steve didn't look up from his beer. "That's steep." Karen paused mid-bite. "Ava, we can't afford that." I pitched student loans or co-signing, but Steve shut me down. "If you were smarter, you'd have a full ride. Guess you're not." Ethan, then 12 and flunking math, snickered. I begged for weeks, showing them stats on West Coast Poly's engineering program, 90% job placement, 6-figure starting salaries. Nothing, my only ally was my aunt, Clara. She was different, listened, cared, asked about my projects. When I told her about college, she was pissed. "They're idiots," she said. "You're worth more than they see." I shrugged. "Maybe I'll just do community college." "No chance," Clara snapped. "You got in, you'll figure it out." I did. I secured federal loans for $65,000, payments deferred until after graduation. When I left for college, I packed my rusty hatchback. Karen and Steve were busy with Ethan's soccer game. "See ya," I called. "Don't crash," Steve yelled, not looking up. Clara was there, though, hugging me and slipping $100 into my pocket. "For emergencies," she said. College was a grind. I worked 20 hours a week at the campus tech support desk, barely covering ramen and rent. I also tutored coding on weekends. Sleep was rare, but I kept my grades up to hold my scholarship. Clara sent $50 every month and called every Friday. Karen and Steve. Radio silence unless I called for holidays. "Hey, happy birthday, Dad." "Thanks, Ava, school good." "Yeah, Dean's List." "Cool, Ethan just made varsity." 5 minutes done. Senior year, I was on fire. Interviews with 5 tech companies, killer rec letters from profs. Graduation came and I scanned the crowd for my parents, knowing they wouldn't show. The night before, Karen called. "Congrats, Ava. We can't make it, Ethan's got a tournament." I swallowed hard. "Yeah, okay." Clara drove 7 hours, cheering like I'd won an Oscar. Post-ceremony, she took me to a diner for burgers and pie. A month later, I landed a job at CyberShield Solutions, $68,000 to start. I crashed with Clara for 9 months to save cash, cooking pasta and watching old sitcoms together. I saw my parents twice when they visited her, conversations clipped. "Got a job?" Steve asked. "Yeah, cybersecurity." "Nice, pays well." Then they'd pivot to Ethan's college apps. I moved into my loft, a no-frills spot Clara helped furnish with garage sale finds. Loan payments hit, $700 a month, a decade-long slog if I paid the minimum. I lived lean, drove a clunker, and threw every penny at the debt. Clara kept me posted on family drama. Ethan got into River Valley University, full ride. "Your parents refinanced the house," she said. "For Ethan's future." I was stunned. They'd told me loans were too risky but found cash for him. They also bought him a new pickup at 20 and funded a Cancun trip after graduation. I nodded, long past surprise. Fast forward, I just cleared my loans. I called Clara, whiskey in hand. "Auntie, I'm debt-free." "Hell yeah, Ava. Come over Sunday, I'm making chili." That Sunday, I brought whiskey and cornbread. Clara's place smelled amazing. Chili, cornbread, apple pie. Mid-meal, the doorbell rang. My stomach dropped. Karen, Steve, and Ethan. "Ava's here," Karen said, stepping in. Clara invited them to eat, ever polite. Karen eyed the spread. "Big celebration," Clara grinned. "Ava paid off her loans." My parents shared a look, sharp, calculated. "That's quick," Steve said. "How'd you pull that off?" Clara cut in. Ava's killing it at a top firm. She's a rock star. They nodded, eyes lingering. 2 weeks later, Karen called. Ava, come for dinner Saturday. Let's catch up. Weird, they didn't do catch up. I went curious. The house was the same, sagging porch, cluttered kitchen. Ethan was there, scrolling on a shiny new tablet, dressed in name-brand gear. Dinner was awkward. They grilled me, job details, salary, rent. You're doing well, Steve said. No loans, huh? Ethan piped up. Still in that tiny loft? You could buy a house. Another look between my parents. Days later, they showed up at my place, unannounced, poking around, asking about my savings. Ethan smirked at my mismatched furniture. It felt like an inspection. I was uneasy but clueless about their angle. The next week at Clara's, she looked grim over coffee. Ava, my neighbor heard your parents talking. They want you to buy Ethan a $400,000 condo, new complex, fancy amenities. My jaw hit the floor. They said you've got no debt, a big salary, no kids. They think you owe Ethan. It clicked, the dinners, the questions, the visit. They'd been sizing me up to bankroll Ethan's life. I'm done, I said. Clara nodded. What's the plan? My company's opening a Seattle branch, I said. I'm out. I'd heard about the expansion months ago. The next day, I asked my boss about the transfer. She confirmed it, better pay, moving stipend, start in a month. I told Clara, swearing her to secrecy. I'll miss you, she said, but go live your life. I spent 3 weeks packing quietly, giving notice to my landlord and hiring movers. My parents kept pushing for another dinner, saying they had big news. I dodged, claiming work stress. The Friday before my move, they insisted I come over. I went, knowing it'd be the last time. Ethan was practically glowing. After dinner, Karen got serious. Ava, we found Ethan the perfect condo, $400,000, waterfront view, gym, the works. Ethan jumped in. It's got a rooftop terrace. Expensive, I said, sipping water. Steve leaned forward. We're strapped, but you're doing great. No loans, no big bills. Could you co-sign or cover the payments? I nodded slowly, faking it. $400,000, that's like $3,200 a month. You can afford it, Karen said. Ethan grinned. Bank meetings Wednesday, 11 a.m., Steve added. I'll check my schedule, I said. They spent dinner planning Ethan's condo, thanking me for helping family. I went home, packed my last box, and slept easy. Monday, movers took my stuff. Tuesday, I flew to Seattle. My company set me up in a modern apartment, way better than my old loft. I spent the first day settling in, meeting my team. Wednesday at 11, my phone blew up. Karen, Steve, Ethan. I ignored them. Texts piled up. Where are you? The bank's waiting. At noon, I answered Karen's call. Ava, what the hell? She yelled. Changed my mind, I said. Not paying for Ethan's condo. You promised. Nope, and I'm in Seattle, new job, new life. I'm not your ATM. You're abandoning us, she screamed. No, you abandoned me, I said. You ignored me, refused to help with college, but now I'm supposed to fund Ethan. I'm out. I hung up, blocked them, and ignored their frantic emails. Clara called a week later. They're livid, she said. Tried to guilt me into dragging you back. She told them they'd earned this, years of neglecting me, then expecting a fortune. Ethan's still in a cheap rental. My parents are bitter. I've been in Seattle 7 months. I love my job, have new friends, and I'm saving for a condo, mine. Clara visits and we talk weekly. I'm finally living for me, not chasing ghosts who never saw me. That whiskey tastes better in Seattle.